What's up, action fans? Welcome back to the channel where we dig up the explosive treasures Hollywood buried. I'm your guide through the battlefield of forgotten firepower. Today, we're diving into 10 absolutely insane action films that somehow flew under the radar. These aren't your standard blockbusters. These are the gritty, pulse-pounding gems. So buckle up, we are going to dive in. Dark Asset brings the talent of seasoned action star Byron Mann to a spy thriller that feels like the violent cousin of the Bourne series. Mann plays an off-the-books CIA operative who discovers his own agency wants him eliminated. The Cat and Mouse Game. That follow spans multiple countries and features some of the most realistic hand-to-hand combat sequences in recent memory. Mann performs much of his own stunt work, and it shows in the fluid camera movements that capture every strike. What makes Dark Asset stand out is its commitment to practical effects in an age of CGI. The film builds to a confrontation that's as emotionally satisfying as it is viscerally exciting. It's the perfect opener to our countdown. Dark. When the Yakuza and sex trafficking collide, you get Dark, a film that introduces the world to martial artist Tony Sienna in a breakout role. Sienna plays Jake, an ex-soldier recruited by an Interpol agent to infiltrate the Yakuza. What follows is a series of increasingly brutal fight sequences that showcase a fighting style rarely seen in Western action films. There's an alleyway fight about midway through that will make you wince and cheer simultaneously. What elevates Dark is its willingness to embrace its R rating, not just for violence, but for exploring the dark world of its setting. The neon-lit Tokyo locations provide a striking visual backdrop for the carnage. It's not trying to be high art, it's trying to kick you in the teeth, and it succeeds gloriously.
On the eastern seaboard in 8 minutes.
We gotta get out of here.
Lockout. Now we're blasting off to space for some sci-fi action that feels like Escape from New York had a baby with Die Hard and launched it into orbit. Guy Pearce stars as Snow, a wrongfully convicted ex-government agent who's offered his freedom if he can rescue the president's daughter from a space prison that's been overtaken by inmates. Yes, it's as ridiculous as it sounds, and thank God for that. What makes Lockout special is Pearce's performance. He delivers every sarcastic one-liner like he's channeling the ghost of 80s action heroes. The zero-gravity fight scenes create a unique visual experience, and the film never takes itself too seriously, even as the body count rises. It's a B-movie with A-grade entertainment value. Dark Truth. Andy Garcia, Forrest Whitaker, and Eva Longoria star in this political action thriller that takes the genre into unexpected territory. The South American jungle and the world of corporate corruption. Garcia plays a former CIA operative turned talk show host who's hired to expose a corporate cover-up in Ecuador. What begins as an investigation transforms into a survival story, and eventually an all-out war against mercenaries. The jungle setting provides a refreshing change from urban action. This isn't mindless action. It's got something to say about corporate responsibility while still delivering the goods.
Let's go get it.
Move, move!
Long Gone Heroes, a gripping tale of camaraderie, betrayal, and redemption. This 2024 film follows a once-elite squad of soldiers who've drifted apart after a disastrous mission. But when an old ally calls for help, they reluctantly reunite for one last mission, a high-risk rescue operation deep in hostile territory. What begins as a tactical operation quickly turns into a deadly game of survival, where every decision can mean life or death. The film expertly balances heart-pounding action with poignant character development as the soldiers face their enemies and their own pasts. We're given glimpses into their vulnerabilities and the bonds that tie them together. Each character has a distinct backstory, adding depth to the narrative and making us root for them despite their flaws. The gritty realism of the combat sequences keeps you on edge, while the unexpected twists in the storyline ensure you're never sure what's coming next. What makes Long Gone Hero stand out is its focus on the emotional stakes of war. This isn't just a story about guns and glory. It's about sacrifice, loyalty, and the cost of violence. With its stunning visuals, intense performances, and a plot that keeps you guessing, this movie is a hidden gem that's perfect for fans of military action. Command performance. Dolph Lundgren as a rock drummer who happens to be an ex-Marine, fighting terrorists who take over a concert venue. Yes, it's as awesome as it sounds. But here's what you don't know. Lundgren actually directed this film himself, and it shows in the fight choreography. The camera doesn't cut away during action sequences. Instead, it lingers on the physical prowess of its 6x5 star, as he dispatches bad guys with both brutality and finesse. The stadium setting creates a claustrophobic battleground, and Lundgren uses everyday items as weapons in increasingly creative ways. One standout sequence involves a drum set being used for something very different from music. It's Die Hard at a rock concert, and it absolutely rocks. The Devil's Double. Shifting gears now to something darker. This movie stars Dominic Cooper in the dual role of Uday Hussein and Latif Yahia, the man forced to be his body double. This isn't your typical action film. It's a psychological thriller wrapped in violence and excess. Cooper delivers a career-defining performance, switching between the sadistic Uday and the trapped Latif with uncanny precision. When the action hits, it's sudden, brutal, and meaningful. The film's strength lies in its unflinching look at power and identity. The nightclub shootout and the climactic assassination attempt sequence are examples of how tension can be as effective as explosions. This is action with consequences, folks. Every bullet matters.
Do anything! Everybody knew the inherent risk!
Sinners and Saints. New Orleans post-Hurricane Katrina provides the backdrop for this gritty cop thriller that feels like it was made in the 70s rather than 2010. Johnny Strong plays Detective Sean Riley, a tormented cop investigating a series of brutal murders that lead him into a dangerous conspiracy. What separates this from standard police fare is the authentic New Orleans setting and the absolutely relentless action sequences. The shootouts aren't stylized. They're loud, chaotic, and feel dangerously real. Director William Kaufman clearly understands what makes action work. Consequences and clarity. You always know where everyone is in the space. The stakes are always clear. And when bullets hit, they do serious damage. The warehouse raid sequence about 2/3 through should be studied in action filmmaking classes. Raging Fire. This isn't just an action film. It's a farewell letter written in bullets and broken glass. Donnie Yen plays a no-nonsense cop facing off against his former protege, now a vengeful criminal mastermind. But forget the plot for a second. The action sequences here are choreographed with such brutal precision, you'll feel every punch in your soul. What makes Raging Fire special isn't just the insane stunt work, it's how it balances old school Hong Kong action authenticity with modern filmmaking techniques. No CGI shortcuts here, folks. Yen delivers what might be his most physically demanding performance in years, and the final showdown. Let's just say, you'll need to remember to breathe.
This guy comes out of nowhere.
Kick-Ass redefined what superhero violence could look like years before Deadpool made it mainstream. When comic book nerd Dave Lazowski decides to become a real-life superhero, despite having no powers whatsoever, he stumbles into a world he's not remotely prepared for. But the real star here is Chloe Grace Moretz as Hit Girl, an 11-year-old assassin who delivers death with a smile and one-liners that would make Schwarzenegger proud. Director Matthew Vaughn crafts action sequences that are both wickedly funny and genuinely shocking. The strobe-lit warehouse scene, set to Bad Reputation, remains one of the most audacious action sequences of the 2010s. And if you think superhero fatigue has set in, revisit this film to remember what made the genre exciting in the first place. So, there you have it. 10 undiscovered gems that deserve a spot in your collection. From high-concept sci-fi to gritty street-level violence, each film brings something unique to the table while delivering the adrenaline rush we all crave. Which one are you watching first? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. I'm digging up new explosive discoveries every week. Until next time, keep your trigger finger ready and your eyes open for more buried treasures in the action underground.